Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, The Visible Works of the Invisible God, Jesus. I thank God for this privilege and the honor to interview my guest Peter Roosterholz, who leads a small group and also a zone leader in my home church. Hi Peter, could you please tell us about your background?
Sure, Maggie. Thank you for having me here in this interview.
It's a pleasure.
I think you're doing a great job and you influence a lot of people who watch these videos. So about myself, I was born in Zurich and raised in Zurich, went to school in Zurich and everything. Got married in 79 and now we have 5 children, 2 girls and 3 boys. They're grown up, between 30 and 40.
That's a big family.
It is. And we have 6 grandkids already and I think the number will be growing.
Oh, wow. Praise God.
So it used to be a lot of work, but also a lot of joy.
We thank God. So what did you do in your life for a living?
I was a teacher for, I would say, nearly 40 years. And the last 15 years, I have worked with weaker kids, very weak kids actually, mainly girls, who haven't reached their goal at the end of their school career. They haven't found a job. So my job was to give them an opportunity to enter into the professional life. And I had a vision. I always said, my vision is 100% of you will find a job, every one of you. Yes. Because one person for you is 100%. So I want all of you to work hard, which included me as well. So I had to be there to help them.
Yeah.
And I basically had to structurize those people's lives because they didn't know how to organize themselves and all these things, and actually to replace their bad experiences with good ones. So there was a lot of emotions, you know, there were tears, there was joy. It was a beautiful time. And we did a lot of activities like hiking and lots of things. And I have good memories. I've been retired for 4 years now already, which gives me the opportunity to work in church a little more. And but for them, for these kids, I was like a father figure.
Wow.
Sometimes I literally replaced their father, who maybe didn't care or had left the family earlier. And I was even able to give them spiritual advice based on the Bible. And I think in this way, I was able to make a difference in those people's lives.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what was your life like before you got to know Jesus?
Well, when I was a kid, my mother used to tell us about the Bible. We had the so-called children's Bible.
Yes.
And then she told us stories out of this Bible. I remember asking her, why did God make everything? Is that possible? That was man-made? And she led us back, no, this was made by God in the beginning. Yeah. So my father was a very hard worker.
Yeah.
He worked a lot and he was away like every evening on a meeting or somewhere.
Yeah.
Our parents just wanted us to be better off than they were after the Second World War.
Okay.
When I grew up as a teenager, I was sometimes really in a bad mood. I couldn't explain, you know, how it is when you're a teenager.
Yes.
And what bothered me at this time, that everything was focused on materialism, just to reach something in this world, materialistic things.
Yes.
So I turned to an alternative lifestyle, like I was a hippie. I had long hair. And
I can't imagine you with your long hair.
You can't. You'll meet me in heaven. I don't know what I look like in heaven, but anyway. You know, I was into, for those people from that time who can remember that, I was into Woodstock and all these bands and Jimi Hendrix and
yes.
Blood, Sweat and Tears and the Beatles especially.
Oh, the Beatles I like.
Yes, yeah. I still have them today on my phone. And I was into loud music, you know. I used to play loud music. My father came and just put the electricity off and I got so mad at that. But still, I felt within me there was a deep void. I was lacking.
Yeah.
the sense of my life. I was lacking the meaning of my life. I didn't know what the meaning was. So I was looking for truth, And so in the course of that, I turned to Eastern religions, like Hinduism, like meditation.
Yeah.
I spoke to gurus and I tried to meditate to find the sense of my life. But it didn't help me. One time a guru told me, well, that's normal, just continue. And I was like, how can you continue something that is not good and it gets even worse? And the situation actually got worse and worse and worse.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
So what was the turning point?
Well, I was at the secondary high school, and there was some blackboard, or even a grey board, you could say, and there was a note saying, I still remember the title, it was called Jesus, Meditation, Truth. So Jesus, why not? I was open for everything.
Okay.
So Jesus, yeah, interesting. Meditation, that was my thing anyway. And then the truth, yeah, I was looking for the truth. Is there an absolute, there must be an absolute truth. Otherwise, our lives make no sense. And I had a believer in my English class, and he invited me. No, I went there by myself. I went there, and I looked at that. It didn't impress me a lot. But afterwards, we were talking about that because he was also there.
Okay.
He was a believer, and he asked me how I felt, etc. I told him, and I had many questions, really many questions, but he couldn't answer them.
Oh.
Many of them, he couldn't give me an answer. He said, well, I don't know. And I found it so strange. But still, I could see that he had a peace and a joy in his life